Alright, welcome Outlanders. Today I'm going to show you how not to install Morrowind modlist. How not to do it. And you probably guys think, oh, he's being ironic. He's actually show us how to do it for real. No. I'm serious. This is really not the recommended way to mod Morrowind. However, this is how I do it. And the thing is, I've been asked so many times to show how to install mods. And I kept saying, really, I do everything manually. You guys should use Mod Organizer. But anyways, today I'm gonna show you step by step how I do it. And as you guys can see on the left, and yes, I'm using this really archaic piece of software, Total Commander, which I've been using since early 2000s. I just thought it's very minimalistic and simple, and kind of you guys can see everything. So on the left is my brand new Morrowind installation, right? I have a Steam version. I just installed it today. And on the right is my, I guess, current Morrowind mod list or mod archive. I'm not gonna use all of these mods, but most of them. I'm actually kind of running out of space here. I have like a couple of Skyrim mod lists. As you guys know, I'm using graphic extender and script extender. So it's a so-called vanilla Morrowind. I'm not using OpenMW. I'm not against OpenMW. It's just I really have a habit of using graphic extender. I did try OpenMW once. I think I had a total overhaul. And just for some reason, it really didn't click with me. It felt different, like a different game almost. With that said, again, I'm not like choosing. This is not like some kind of like a war between OpenMW and graphic extender. Like people can play whatever they want. Many people prefer actually OpenMW. They claim it's more stable, more frames. So just go for it. So we're gonna start with the Morrowind code patch. This is like the absolute foundation. And so I have all the archives here. So this is one of the very few mods that actually don't go into data files, but in the Morrowind's root folder, which is right here, where we have Morrowind XE. So which is gonna take these two files and drag and drop. All right. So these are mostly bug fixes and patches and all these things. And many of these are very optional. Some are actually required for certain mods to work. If you click here, it will have actual description telling you what to do. So I kind of choose most of these. On use ring extra slot, whatever. So yeah, racial variation in speed fix. I actually tried once, and at least in the case of my Nord, I moved almost like in a slow motion, like really slow. So, but as you like level up, you're gonna move faster, obviously. I kind of didn't like it. I think the character moved way too slow, even for Morrowind. So I usually don't choose this option. I love gloves with bracers, sure. Argonian clothing choice. So strength-based hand-to-hand damage. Oh boy. Actually, they fixed this. It used to be somewhat glitchy. So I remember playing many years ago. I was in a Blood Moon DLC. And I was fighting those werewolves in the last quest for the main Blood Moon's quest line. And those werewolves were so strong, so tough. They basically like one-shot me every time. And I was a high-level character. It almost seemed like impossible. So I didn't know. I actually had to cheat, I think. So I was like, what's going on? And then I discovered that actually this option here was buggy. So as you guys can see, note that this not longer affects werewolf damage as it did in previous versions. So they fixed it. So now it's, I guess, safe to use. But basically your hand-to-hand damage will depend on your strength. The stronger you are, more damage you'll, perform. So it makes sense. Spell making, I really don't care about any of that. So now we go to visuals. It's all good. Now for mod specific, I kind of do this. Now there is one actually important to use. Get spells effect tweak. Yeah, it's different things. Scriptable potion use. So NPCs will actually use potions. if they have it in inventory. And yeah. Now this is also very important. It's a map expansion for Tamriel Rebuild. Don't loot on dispose, and yeah, just really many different things. And as for the bug fixes, they are already all checked. So once we are done, we can just apply. It's very fast, and that's it. All right, so now we have a Morrowind code patch activate. We're gonna go back to data files, and so I'm gonna follow this order. Next one is graphic extender. So the thing is that actually graphic extender also goes to the root folder. So this is the Morrowind graphic extender, and now it actually comes with a script extender, so you don't have to download it separately. There are two ways you can do this. There is automatic installer, which I usually do, but there's also manual. So today I'm going to do manual, just so you guys can see. And so yeah, just really, this is data files, so we're going to drag them into data files. I do it like this. All right. And then we go back. And we also need to put all of this into the root folder. All right. As simple as that. And I can actually activate, this is a script extender. So every time you kind of download, add new mod, it's good to just update. We're gonna do it now. So yeah, usually when I start this, you'll get like this notification. It's actually fine. So run anyway. And now we have script extender installed, which many mods on this list require. So as for the graphic extender, we're gonna leave it be, and we're gonna actually use it to install shaders and all these graphic visuals, but that comes at the very end. So now next one is patch for purists. I usually just get the basic one, patch for purists. I don't care about these other two. And also make sure it's in data files. So now we actually have to go to data files, and yep, just drag and drop. And now we're really just gonna install a bunch of like a small fixes. This is for the beginning. So for example, we got reputation fixes. And basically in the vanilla game, if you perform quests for, let's say, Imperial Legion or a temple or something like that, it won't affect your overall reputation, which it should. So this fixes it. Next one is fix those bastard ropes. It's right here. Just a bunch of meshes. Now we have a Morrowind optimization patch. This is the big one. So as you guys can see, there's plenty of options. Obviously, you're gonna use the core. So we go inside and just drag meshes. Overwrite. Every time it asks you to overwrite, you just do it. Now this is about the souls time. This is a weapon sheeting patch. So we're gonna come back. I think we should not install patch until we actually have a mod. So we're gonna come back later. There's also no need for better vanilla textures because we're gonna use other textures. So yeah, all I'm using here is just the core version. In later, let's remember to come back for a weapon sheeting patch. All right, let's see what's next. Doors anti-stuck. Doors anti-stuck. I should also remind you that literally every single mod is available on Nexus for free. So, all right, next one is the exit. Where is that? Which is actually very good stuff. Sometimes when I try to exit Morrowind, it freezes, and this basically fixes it. So game actually runs smoother. Now we have user interface expansion. All right, this is a really good mod. It does so many good things, really. So we're gonna just drag everything here. Pretty much 99% of mods will be just like this. You open and drag. So it's really simple in a way. All right, so next one will be Muse 2. So even though I'm not gonna use any music mod, I still gonna install this one. There are plenty of good music mods, and I think once the other mods update their files to be compatible with the newest Tamriel we built, it's very easy to add some kind of music. Now let's see, we have correct UV rocks, which makes rocks a little bit more smooth, right? So I don't mind having better looking rocks. Now after this we get Plux. Plux is a load order sorter. So that one also goes to the root folder. Just open, and I use both of these files. And again, we're gonna use them at the very end. So just leave them here. Now let's go back to data files and find next one. Yeah, so we're still dealing with meshes. So now we're gonna add RR meshes. Where is that? Here. So there's actually few mods. I'm gonna use a better meshes, the main file. Overwrite. And let's see. None of these other ones. And I like better crates and barrels, so let's do that too. There's also better skulls and bones. I usually skip those. Sometimes I use them, whatever. Doesn't really matter. Now we have properly smoothed meshes. Just the meshes. These are just document files. We don't need those. And there are some optional textures, which I don't care about. High polygon glowing candles, whatever. I just use the core version, I really. Better safe than sorry. So there's actually another mesh mod. Correct meshes by ZWOLOL. It's a newer mod, and from my understanding, it's actually a collection of different mesh corrections. And I used it before. However, I used to get some error. And basically what I found out is this one needs to be, if you plan to use this one, correct meshes by ZWOLOL, make sure to install it last. And that way you won't have any error warnings. All right. So now we're done with the meshes, I believe. Again, as you guys can see, I go very, very minimalistic, just very few things. So now at the very kind of early stage of the modding, I use Morrowind Enhanced Textures. This is the big pack, right? 2.5 gigabytes. It's a Morrowind Enhanced Textures. And it's only just a bunch of textures. It basically enhances all the vanilla game textures. And I actually used to play with just this one and nothing else. And it looks good. However, for today's mod list, I'm gonna actually build more upon them, because I found some really interesting better textures, even more high res. And so yeah, we're still gonna use more enhanced textures as a foundation, right? And it's actually very good to have it at the very beginning, so now we can build upon this foundation. So yeah, that was Morrowind Enhanced Textures. All right. So now after that, yeah, it's a Tamriel and OAB data. So those are like a big, like a libraries or archives of data. So of course, this is the newest Tamriel data, and I use HD version. So and literally just drag and drop everything. And we have OAAB data. Now, in this case, you have to use the original one first, the core. And there are some options here. We may come back later. Let's see. Yeah, I'm not using Epic Plants because for me it's glitchy. But if you guys use any of these mods, just remember to use a patch. Now, after the normal version, we can overwrite with the HD version, which I prefer. So this mod list will really test the limits of my PC, especially because we're going to Narcissus, which is I was testing yesterday. I kind of got very low frame rate, but it was still playable, and the game looked really good in my opinion. So it's worth. So anyways, now we got Tamriel data and OAB data, which are required for plenty of other mods. Yeah, perfect placement and cinematic camera. All right. Perfect placement is a really useful tool. You can pretty much grab any interactive item in the game and you can position however you want. You can rotate. You can even like position on the wall. So it's really fun to decorate things. You know, Morrowind is very good with decorating because the items are static. You can move them, but once you place them somewhere, they're not gonna like fall like in Skyrim. And cinematic camera, I'm using for my lore videos. I don't use it while playing the game. You can basically just, you know, move around the world and make some cinematic shots if you're into that. So that's next. Steadicam. All right, Steadicam. I really love it. Again, we just need this one right here. All right, next one is the character creation scenarios. But for that, we need the crafting framework. All of this. Then we need chargen. And now, character generation scenarios. It's by Mirrorlord. It's alternative start game mod for Morrowind. So it allows you a bunch of scenarios, like over 60 scenarios. You can start, you know, as a member of a guild, Left 4 Dead, Shipwrecked, as a necromancer, or, you know, mercenary, bounty hunter. Like so many. You can start like in the middle of some town buying bread. So it's really cool. And some of these actually beginnings have like a small quest required. So, and to start the main quest, all you have to do is go back to Seydan Inn and talk to Celos Gravius. So I really love it. So I love using it now. It's one of those mods, once you try it, you actually cannot go back. Better dialogue font is really self-explanatory. Just drag the font folder here. Creature VFX restoration. It's a really cool, like a small tweak. Where is that? It actually restores some animations that are planned for Morrowind, but they were never implemented in the game. So let's have them on. And what's cool is actually vurt recently published like a patch version with a more high resolutions. So we're gonna do that later. All right, now we're gonna have a scamp replacer, which I'm using specifically for one mod. So yeah, first we're gonna use scamp replacer. Yeah, Creeper the Scamp. Where is that? Where are you, Creeper? Here it is. I really like it. It's very cute. It will basically turn... I just use data files. It makes Creeper more unique. Like he's holding like a little basket on the back full of items. So he looks like a, you know, like a crazy merchant. Alright, so now is the big sound overhaul. Aura, a sound overhaul mod. This is a 10/10 must-have mod. Actually, one of the reasons why I'm gonna play mostly without music, I'm just so immersed with this amazing sounds of the game. So, alright, so we're gonna go the core version here. Just drag everything into data files. I told you guys, everything is mostly just drag and drop. The only things you have to be careful about is the order in which you install mods and pay attention to patches, and that's it. Modding Morrowind is very simple. But again, I have to repeat, I recommend following some better guide online and using a Morrowind organizer. All right, now we have, let's see, replacer, which replaces some sounds. Why not? And that's it. Now we have prayer wheel sound replacer, which I'm not really sure. I never tried it. And animate Morrowind, which I'm not using. So that's it. That's Aura. All right. Next one is animation blending, which makes all the animations a little bit smoother. And it's a very, very, like once you like see it, it's very difficult to go back. So basically when your character crouches, it adds more frames between those two positions. And now we're gonna do weapon sheeting, right? And that's all the way down here. So we're gonna use first this one, the basic version, just the data files. Extras, it's alternative draw animations. I really don't care about it. But now we also have additions, right? So we're gonna use additions as well. It's actually done by someone else, not the same mod author. So just search weapon sheeting additions, you'll find. Like all these mod names are original. That's how they're named in the Nexus. So it's very easy to find them. So that's weapon sheeting. Now let's go back to Morrowind optimization patch. And now we can actually install the patch. There you go. And weapon sheeting is really something you cannot play without. I mean, such a game changer. Oh yeah, so next I installed the distant land generation texture error fix. Interesting. Okay, it's right here. When you install distant land, the graphic extender will usually report like an error, which is not game breaking. It's not gonna like ruin everything. It's just kind of annoying because you cannot find some fictional texture or whatever. I'm not really knowledgeable about it, but it's not harmful. However, if you want to get rid of it, just install this, and it actually works. Simple as that. Now, all right, beautiful Cities of Morrowind. Ooh, I heard so many people have issues with this one, and I feel really bad. I found some people saying they tried to install this mod because of me. They saw in my video, and they just break their whole game. And this is why I'm doing this, right? And you guys are gonna see it's so simple. So let's find, it's right here. And this is the basic version right here. And really just do the core. All right, so we open the core folder and just install everything into your data files. Overwrite. Now, I usually don't bother with the waterworks. I don't mind any of this. Options. We're gonna go back. Actually, let's do it now. So this is, again, like it says, it's all optional if you want. I kind of like white Suran. Sometimes I use it, sometimes I don't. It depends on my mood. So let's try white Suran. It's very cool. Suran dock expansion, I heard it's also good, but I'm not going to use it now. But that's pretty much all. Now, there are also HD textures, which I will use. Grass patches. I'm going to talk about grass later. Or maybe I can just mention now. I will not use grass right now because it just demands too much patching and fixing. And also Tamriel Rebuild just released a brand new map, and there's a mod that adds grass to Tamriel Rebuild, and it will take some time before they update. So it's actually easy to add grass later on. It's not going to ruin your game. So once it's all ready and fixed, it's very easy to add grass. It does look good if you use it, so but I really don't mind. So my current mod list will be without any grass. So that's it. As you guys can see, We just installed the core folder. I chose white Suran and HD textures. Now this is important. We have patches. Look at the number of patches here. All right. So let's see. We have a patch for purists, which we have to use, right? Patch for purists. So later on, we're gonna add another patches, but we'll come back later, all right? But for now, only the patch for purists. All right, so let's see what's next. All right, that was beautiful Cities of Morrowind. All right, concept art plantations and Tamriel rebuild and Cyrodiil. All right, these are the big players. Okay, first concept art plantations. I really love it. It turns two big plantations on the Varnafell, kind of like more grand, bigger, a little bit more detailed. All right, that was it. And as you guys can see, there are patches for grass mods or for grass mods with the beautiful Cities of Morrowind. So there are patches. Technically, there are patches for all these mods, so you can use grass. It just really needs some expertise, which I don't have. But I'll figure out in time. It just really, I don't really care much about grass, I guess. All right, so this was the concept art plantations. And now let's go back to the beautiful Cities of Morrowind and install the patch right away. All right, so here it is. Concept art plantations patch. So just let it overwrite. And now we have working beautiful Cities of Morrowind. Actually, there are a few more patches, which we'll add later. So now let's add a Tamriel rebuild, like the real thing. Let's do that. It's right here. The latest version. Core. I usually do faction integration. It's optional. It makes rising in the ranks a little bit longer. But it kind of like integrates factions from Wardenfell to the mainland. I kind of like that. And then because we're using graphic extender, we're going to use this option, which will allow some spells and effects that you cannot have in a vanilla. So it's optional, of course. While we're here, let's add Project Cyrodiil as well. Very simple. We just need to use this file right here. And that's the amazing Project Cyrodiil. I really, really love it. Now let's go back to the beautiful Cities of Morrowind, find patches. Now we need to remember, we also have patches for Tamriel Rebuild and Project Cyrodiil. All right, so let's do that. All right, this is Province Cyrodiil patch. And I think basically what it does, it will position the guy who takes us to the Cyrodiil on the boat. It will position him right, or else he'll probably float somewhere in the water or something like that. And Tamriel Rebuild patch, where is that? Here. All right, so now next we're gonna do Skyrim Home of the Nords right here. Just the main file. And that's it. Now, at this moment, it's probably not wise to play those maps, because I think they need to be updated to the current Tamriel data. So it will happen soon. But it's very easy to update and it's harmless if you don't actually go there. So it's okay, it's really safe to include. That was Skyrim Home of the Nords. Now we're gonna do Solstheim Tomb of the Snow Prince. The main file, core. Again, just drag and drop everything. Now we have some glow in the dark patches we're gonna use later. Tamriel data integration, sure. There's this option that says spiders. I don't know what's that. I'll use no spider version, thank you. Patch for purists. That's kind of all. I don't know what's this missing snow armor pieces. Yep. Now we have a graphical replacer. First we're gonna do HD textures. And I also love to add Skyrim-like trees. Now we have one more thing to finish with the Solstheim. So we overhauled the landscapes and everything, it's all fine. However, the interiors are still the same. So we're gonna use Nordic Solstheim. Solstheim interior overhaul, which will basically change all these like Nord villages interiors into proper Nordic, right, looking places. Just a core version. We can restore the cliff racer, which I think hangs in a Tiersk hall or something. It's optional, whatever. And that's it. Solstheim is done. Glow in the dark. This is a really, really popular mod. Glow in the dark. Let's use the core version. Just drop everything. High resolution Windows texture. Why not? And that's it. I'm not sure about the Nord glass windows. Okay, now next one is a very, very important mod. It's it's a blue canet organic integration. And there's this very beautiful blue flower that's found on the mainland. It's from Tamriel data. And what this wonderful little mod does is introduces this blue flower into the Wardenfell. And I just think it looks lovely. Now there is option to add it to the Sheogoret, which sometimes I use it, sometimes not. Let's try. Now we're gonna do HD clutter, all in one. We also have a patch here, but let's do a full textures. So it will make all the clutter really crisp looking. And let's add OAAB patch. I forgot to mention something. There's Atlas patch. So there's this Atlas project, which is very popular and good. I don't use it because it used to cause me a lot of issues and bugs before, so I'm kind of afraid. But it's supposed to be very good and makes the game even more performance friendly, like increases the performance. But there are some errors. I think it has some error with the Morrowind Enhanced Textures. Like there's some kind of like just a bug between those two mods. So that's why for now I really avoid Atlas project. But if you guys know what you're doing, try it out. I heard it's really, really good. But anyways, that was HD clutter. Now next one is, okay, so I used here Morrowind screens redone. Let me just see. Morrowind screens redone. I also have, where's that, HD concept art screen and main menu. It looks very good. However, all the texts are in Russian. And I have nothing against the Russian language. It just, I can even read some of it. But the problem is that the game is in English, and when you see like a main menu or a script or the art screen in Russian, it's kind of like, I don't know, feels weird. So I was looking for a replacement, and this one is like a closest one. Where's that? Morrowind screens redone. Like the screens are a little bit brighter. I wish they're somewhat darker, but they're really cool. They show this like Michael Kirkbride's artwork, and they're like usually like a little lower texts. However, they go really fast, so you don't really have time to read everything. But you know, it just makes the screens and the main menu more crisp and more HD. So again, it's really optional. All right, that was screens redone. Okay, next three mods are for pure immersion. Fireflies, Mystify, and Vapor Mist. So let's start with the Fireflies. It's a really, really cool. It doesn't really affect frame rate. Like every evening, you'll see fireflies flying around, and it looks very nice. Now, these couple of mods, they do affect the frame rate, but they just look so good. Mystify. I don't use compatibility, which retextures the swamp like a water. I'm just gonna use the core version. But the main deal is the vapor mist. Where is that? Yep. So just drag everything. All right. So now it's time to overhaul Caldera even further. I really love Caldera. It's one of my favorite like vanilla cities. So we have this couple of mods here. The first one is Caldera Governor's Manor Redone. It's that kind of like a castle or a mansion in the Caldera, which kind of looks generic and looks really, really good with this mod. And interiors are also overhauled. And these are the Caldera Mines expanded. There are no new quests, it's just a pure like a landscape design, and it looks really good. Because Caldera Mines are really famous. Like Redrun and Hlal are almost going into a war because of them. So this just makes these mines a little bit bigger and more important looking. Alright, next one is Azura's Shrine Overhaul. I actually haven't had time to check it out, but it looked good on the pictures. I always found Azura's Shrine a little bit confusing. Like I can never find the entrance, it's kind of weird. So this one does it some justice, I guess. Okay, vanilla friendly creatures and undead add-ons. Where is that? So this is from the same author, Random Pal, who made Beautiful Cities of Morrowind. Actually, quite a few mods are from his collection. And I like this one because it adds more creatures to the game. But for example, you can see like a baby guars or like all these animals you see in the game, like guars, alets, kaguti. Like you'll find like actually more variations, but it's all very lore friendly. There's also new variations of the undead. So you can also make glowing natches. I don't care about that. Now these are actually very good. It's more about the rebalancing. So all the deity creatures can use bound weapons, or you can have like a drop rebalance, meaning like you can't just get in possession of some very valuable Daedric weapon by slaying a Daedra. So let's say Daedric creatures uses bound weapons. Just to like, you know, fix the balance a little bit. And summons have 0 soul. I really don't play with that, so I don't care about conjuration. But yeah, that was the vanilla friendly creatures. Alright, next on the menu is mgexe Expanded. I believe it's even actually required by some mod here. It's a really, really fun. It makes the entire like a magic system more even deeper. So we need a framework, right? First of all, just these and metadata. Now, I also love the lore-friendly pack. I used to play with the Tamriel Rebuild pack, and teleportation is also cool. Summoning have some really interesting things. You can summon even a mammoth from Skyrim. Some crazy stuff. But I just use a lore-friendly pack. Alright. And that was the mgexe Expanded. Of course, let's not forget the expansion delayed. I mean, yeah, there it is. I think it mostly deals with the tribunal, right? So we won't be attacked by the Dark Brotherhood right away from the beginning of the game, which kind of breaks not only the immersion, but breaks the game, right? You get in possession of all these valuable items, you get rich. And plus, it doesn't make sense to be attacked right away. I think what this mod does is like, once you progress to a certain level within the main quest, and then you will be suddenly attacked by a Dark Brotherhood. Oh yeah, concept art, Molag Amur. Yes, yes, yes. So for those who don't know, Molag Amur region used to be called the Great Skates, I believe. Let me see. Yeah. And it was this really like a sulfuric, like a yellow swamp, like toxic, very alien looking, very hostile. And but that was just a concept art. They never actually made it in the game. So what this thing does, it's kind of tries to recreate this original Bethesda vision. So it's just pure visual overhaul of this region. Again, makes it a little bit more unique, stands out a little bit. All right, so this is now something new. We're gonna go to the Architectura series. So Architectura series is like this very, very well-known texture overhaul. I haven't used it in a long time, so I decided to give it a try, and I'm gonna install over the Morrowind Enhanced Textures. However, I do have some other additional texture packs, so they're maybe not even actually required, but again, it's really, really optional. So we're gonna use Daedric high quality textures. Then I'm gonna use full Dwemer retextures. And every option that I use here is the highest resolution. So Hlalu Architectura, high quality again. Redrun. We can also overhaul sewers. Why not? These are the shacks, docks, and ships. And Vivek and Veloti. So now we actually upgrade our textures. Again, I used to play with Morrowind Enhanced Textures for a while. I didn't really mind them. But sometimes when you take a closer look, they can look a little bit blurry maybe. I'm not really sure. So I don't know. I just decided for this occasion to really upgrade some visuals. So again, like I said, we used Morrowind Enhanced Textures as a foundation. Now we used Architectura series. I haven't included the Telvanni pack because it used to be buggy for me, and it may be still buggy, I'm not sure. So it doesn't even matter because we're gonna still use another overhaul over this one. So yeah, we did Architectura series over the Morrowind Enhanced Textures, but we are not done. So now this is the newest texture pack that I found, which is really, really good looking in my opinion. It's Words Vanilla. No, wait. Yeah, it's Words Morrowind Visual Resurgence. So prior to that, I used his armor and weapons retextures and clothes. However, his main pack contains all in one. So all you have to use is Morrowind Visual Resurgence. And he actually compares his textures to the Morrowind Enhanced Textures, and it's such a big difference. And once I saw the difference, it's like I realized, oh, actually the AI overhaul is not really that ideal, I guess. It just makes a big difference. Now, I have to remind you guys, I'm using his highest quality version, which actually Word himself doesn't recommend. So basically, if you go to this his page, Words Morrowind Visual Resurgence, there's a high quality and there's like a, I guess, medium quality. He recommends medium quality because high quality one causes crashes, at least to him, and because they're all 2K. I decided to give it a try because people say it still looks different, it looks better, it's more crispier and visually more striking. It didn't cause any crashing for me. But anyways, let's use... These are really, really good textures, actually. And it's also a really big mod. So again, I may have made some unnecessary steps in this guide. Maybe I could just skip the Architectura series because we still overwrote all the textures again for a third time. So, but you never know. Like, you know, maybe vurt skipped some textures. So I don't know. All right. So now we installed vurt's main graphic overhaul. He also has OAAB retexture, which we can use. So if you guys remember, earlier we used creature VFX restoration, and vurt actually has a patch to make it even more visually striking. So let's use that. So, all right. So that was vurt's Morrowind Visual Resurgence. We use all 3 packs. And now we're gonna overhaul NPCs. And for this, I use nothing fancy. For a body replacer, I don't use better bodies anymore. I use VSBR vanilla style body replacer. All right. And for the faces, we're gonna use Familiar Faces by Caleb, which are really just the vanilla faces, but kind of improved. In essence, these are really just improved vanilla faces, and in my opinion, that's the best. I never really liked almost none of the like head packs mods that change like the appearance of the characters. They kind of look too different. So I prefer to just enhance the original vanilla character look. So this was the NPC overhaul. Again, vanilla style body replacer and Familiar Faces by Caleb. That's all we need. All right, now this is again another step that you guys may skip if you want, just a personal preference, but these are the Saint J mods. He's very active recently, and I'm gonna use actually only Hlalu normal map recolors and Mushroom Replacer. So I tried his Tamira rebuild landscape replacer. I didn't really like it. His tapestries are too dramatic looking, too I don't know, vibrant. I'm gonna use some other replacer for that later on. I haven't tried wood replacer, whatever, but I really love his recoloring of Hlalu textures, so I'm gonna use it. I think it looks very nice. And his mushroom replacer is also not so bad, so let's try it. We'll see. For tapestries, I prefer actually Faded Glory, rugs and tapestries replacer. It makes them kind of more faded, I guess. Let's see. Meshes and textures. Thank you very much. All right, next one is improved lights for shaders. Where is that? Yeah, improved lights for all shaders. I only use the core folder again. Just drag the meshes and overwrite. All right, now we're gonna do some vanilla content overhauls. First one is Andrano Ancestral Tomb Remastered. So basically the idea behind some of these mods that I'm gonna install now is to sort of like overhaul and make the vanilla content a little bit newer, a little bit more exciting. Again, this is all optional, right? Now I'm gonna use Nordic Dagonfell because Beautiful Cities of Morrowind actually doesn't overhaul Dagonfell. So we're gonna use Nordic Dagonfell. There's even a more Nordic Dagonfell, but I'm gonna use only the core version. Now we're gonna do the full OAAB series, which is right here. Tombs and Towers, which overhauls almost all Ancestral Tombs and Veloti Towers in the game. Not all, but almost all. So OAAB Gracelands is one of my favorite. It's just does an amazing job overhauling both the Voss and Telvoss and even the surrounding area. So it's very nice. So let's do it. It comes with HD textures, but I don't know if I should use it because I already use very good textures otherwise. Yeah, let's skip this one for now. Now we have shipwrecks, OAB shipwrecks. Do the core folder, and there's also a patch for Tamriel rebuild. If I remember well, this mod adds like a really unique shipwrecks around the game, and some of them actually have kind of like a little events or quests. So it's very fun. All right, next one is OAB Tel Mora. So there's this option for female guards. So I believe this is that one Telvanni town, which is ruled by this like a deranged source. What's her name? She's almost like a forbidding man to live in her city or something like that. I think she's afraid that, I think she was prophesied to be murdered by a man. So she's basically surrounded by females. So anyways, if you guys want, you can just use female guards patch. I don't really care about it. Again, there are HD textures, but I'm not sure if I should use them because I already like upgrade textures in the game. So I'm gonna skip this. So I only use the core version. Now we have Margan and Tel Branora. So Margan is called Town of Pilgrimage. So these are all settlement overhauls. Again, all we need is a core version. All right, and Tel Branora, where is that? Tel Branora expansion. It looks very nice. It's very close to Voss. Just a core version. Okay, now we're gonna add one true fate. Saints and frescoes retexture. All right, now this is the big one, and it can be a little bit tricky if you don't know what to do. But I decided to try like to overhaul my skies, and I'm gonna give a chance to Skies 4 mod, which is very, very popular. It's actually kind of old mod, but still looks great. We're gonna install the core version, which is this one here, and just the basic moons. So we just use meshes and textures. And then we're gonna add moons, just the basic moons. So if you open, you see it's like this. So we just have to open the texture folder and just drag them here. And that's it. Now let's go back to data files. Now there's something else we have to do here. So I'm gonna show you guys. So if you guys want to use this mod, Skies Overhaul, there is one tweak that needs to be done in the Morrowind INI file. And it's not that complicated, it's maybe a little bit tedious. Basically what happens is that clouds will move too fast across the sky, which can be a little bit immersion breaking, right? So what you need to do is go to the Morrowind INI file, and everywhere you see cloud speed, you have to divide by 5. So 1.25 divided by 5, and you enter this value. So again, cloud speed 2. Well, you gotta divide by 5, and I'm gonna do that later. So as it says here, finally, assuming you are using any textures from one of the folders, you will need to make a tweak to your Morrowind INI. Open your INI file, which is located in the root Morrowind folder. Use Ctrl F or find to locate the line's cloud speed. On every value specified, divide by 5. So for example, cloud speed 5 would become cloud speed 1. And this will make the clouds move the same speed as without the new meshes once you're finished installing. So yeah, I mean, there are quite a few of those. And the values are changed because, let's say, if it's a cloudy weather or something, like the clouds move slower and all that. So it requires a little bit of tweaking in the ini file, but I think it's worth. I think the clouds look, or the skies look really, really good. But anyways, that was the sky overhaul. All right, next one is a septim overhaul. So now we're gonna overhaul our coins. Septim gold and Dwemer Dumax. Right? Just a core version without the documents. Yeah. And let's see. There are some other options here, but I don't care about them. So just a core version. It makes coins and the Dwemer coins really, really nice looking. Now, we forgot to improve our Morrowind. So immersive Morrowind, which I haven't tested yet. I haven't been to Morrowind in years. But apparently it makes it better. So, all right, so next is quest voice greetings. And it does just what the title says. You find the NPC that's a quest giver, and they will actually speak. I prefer this option much more over having entire game voiced. I think it's too much. Okay, that was the quest voice greetings, but that's not all. There's also Ashlander voices. So for example, some Ashlanders will actually greet you in their own native language, which sounds different. But that's not all. Now we have Friends Reunited, which I showcased in my previous modlist video. Every time there's like an encounter between two NPCs in a game, they're gonna actually have a dialogue between them. It's scripted. It looks very fun. So let's use that. And there's one more mod that adds more voice dialogues. That's a Nordic banter, which is really, really interesting and funny. So if you approach, I believe Nordic Nord weaponsmiths or armorers, and if you unsheath your weapon, if you have weapon equipped, they're gonna comment on your weapon. So it's very, very funny actually. Nordic banter. All right, so next we're gonna add Wurt's animated trees. So far he released trees for Ascadian Isles and the Bitter Coast. So let's do that. Once I saw them, I just had to use them really. They look so nice. So these are the Ascadian Isle trees and Bitter Coast. He actually just released a couple of days ago animated trees for Solstheim. However, I think I need to wait for a patch with the Tomb of the Snow Prince, so I'm not using it for Solstheim yet. But eventually, I think he said he plans to animate all the trees, which will be really nice. Next one is the Grove of Ben Abi. Where is that? The Grove of Ben Abi. I like it because it kind of overhauls like the center of the Sheogorath region and adds this really nice like a mushroom forest with a little bit of like a lore behind it. So it's really nice. All right, Terris Laredran's house. It's right here. It was actually recommended to me by one of the friends of this channel. And it adds like a little house next to Pelagiad. And it's compatible with the beautiful cities. And yeah, it's about this merchant who travels between Vivec and Pelagiad. So it has like a very small quest and a new house. I'm not sure. I think it's a player's house actually, but again, I have to check. I haven't played it. I just tested it. So, and now Tamriel rebuilt introduction quest. Help a Khajiit reach the city of good people. I showcased it in a previous video, and it's one of those small quests that actually lead the player to the mainland. I think many people will actually appreciate that. And this one is very, very simple. It's very fun, right? We release the Khajiit in the Slaver's Cave by Seydanin. And basically we have to take him to Old Ebonheart. Alright, now we have Dreto's Ancestral Tomb, which I haven't checked out yet, but it looks to be really good. It's actually a brand new Ancestral Tomb. I don't love to add many new things in the on the vanilla content, but this one looks very, very good, and I believe it adds a new Ancestral Tomb somewhere in the Bitter Coast region. So it was recommended and I decided to give it a try. Next one is a simple library overhaul. Where is that? It's right here. Simple Vivek library. There are actually two major overhauls. I prefer this one because it's more kind of private. Like when I go to a library, I don't know, the other overhaul, it makes the library very, very epic. It's open, it's spacious. And this one does the opposite. It's more like a private with many kind of like a closed corridors. So I kind of prefer this one. So it's all a matter of taste. Okay, we are almost at the end. Now we have a character sound overhaul. So we just open and drag everything into data files. All right, so now we're gonna add one more mod. It's simply walking. I actually forgot, but doesn't matter. Simply walking affects the walking and the running animations, which I know some people don't like them. They prefer vanilla ones. I always found vanilla style walk kind of goofy. Like everybody's walking like a Conor McGregor, kind of. So there's actually option to use with the weapon sheeting. I tried it, and for some reason it didn't work all the way. Like it's fun because you will run, and then if you want to sheet your weapon, for example, if you have like a two-handed weapon, like a character will actually grab, it'll reach behind and grab the weapon and pull it out. It looks very nice. However, I think the character still had this goofy like vanilla walk. So I just used this one, the original version, simply walking. Just drag the meshes and that's it. So yeah, I think I'm looking at the list here. I did everything. Now I skipped a bunch of music mods, which I explain why I'm not using them. They cause some mistakes, some errors. So I actually don't mind. I do prefer playing without the music. But if you guys want to play music, there's so many good options. Oh yeah, unique tavern signs for Tamriel Rebuilt. Let's add those as well. Now sadly the mod author said that he doesn't have time. So we're gonna find unique tavern signs only for the older maps, including Old Ebonheart. Alright, so now we're gonna activate actually all plugins here, right? They're still not sorted out, so all we have to do is just to activate them. Alright, so I think I activate all the plugins here. And then we press OK. We're still not gonna play, of course. Now, the next step is we go back to our root folder and we're gonna activate blocks with this one right here. Run anyway. And all right. So here's the thing. I used to use Mlox, M-L-O-X, and I actually had some issues with it and I couldn't figure out what happened. And then I found out that Blocks may actually fix that. And as soon as I switched to Blocks, all the issues were gone. So I really, really recommend using Blocks instead of Mlox. Anyways, we have this is the old load order, and this is the new one, right? The fixed one. Now just click accept. And that's it. Also, let's update our script extender. And that's pretty much it. Now we're gonna activate our graphic extender. All right. So for this occasion, I'm gonna set everything to like pretty much maximum. We're gonna use 8 anti-aliasing, 16. We gotta use 16 times detail as the God Emperor Todd Howard commanded. We turn the VSync on. All right. Shaders come later. As for the frame rate limiter, I kind of do it 60. I like to limit to 60, although I don't think it works, but we'll see. And that's pretty much it. So now we're gonna generate a distant land. We can't click in anywhere else for now, so that's all we can do. So we selected all, and it's actually, I heard, important to make the right load order before generating distant view. I think if you generate distant view and then you sort your mod list, it can cause some errors. So first we're gonna use blocks, you know, sort our load order, and then we're gonna generate a distant view. So select all and continue. These are the textures, resolutions. Now I have 7 warnings, and it's actually because of the newest Tamriel rebuilt data. None of these warnings are actually game breaking, so they're kind of harmless. I mean, we are missing some chocolate chip cookies here. Whatever. So yeah, none of this will actually have any effect. These 4 errors are always, every time you play Skyrim Home of the Nords, you're gonna have these. And these 3 here are due to the latest Tamriel data update. So no worries. All right. Now we have create land textures. So here I'm gonna go ultra high. So I'm really pushing my PC to the very, very limit. Like my configuration can run any Skyrim mod list. I run all of them. Like, but when it comes to Morrowind, it's actually trickier because it's an older game, and it's actually more demanding than even Skyrim. Because Morrowind's engine is not built to utilize all these modern tools, right? That's why we have script extenders and OpenMW. But even with them, it's still kind of tricky. But anyways, I use all the highest resolutions. I'm gonna use a bunch of shaders. I'm gonna use all these like really, really demanding mods. And I'm gonna set, like I said, ultra high details. So we're gonna see, we're probably gonna have a low frame rate around big cities, but if it's still playable, I don't mind. So anyways, now let's generate land meshes. I think I usually don't mess with this. Yeah, I usually don't mess with these options here. So now we're gonna wait. Okay, now once it's done, we're gonna create statics. And this will usually take a while, so I'm gonna go grab some lunch and take a little walk, and I'll see you in half an hour. And we have finished. Now, before we move on, I actually want to add a couple of more mods, because we're gonna have to regenerate the distant land again anyways. So there are a few mods here that I would still like to add. One of them is the Wake of Hanin, Ibar Dad Overhaul, which is kind of new mod. And maybe you guys saw, I made actually a video about Hanin not so long ago. It's really, really one of my favorite pieces of like obscure Morrowind lore. So let's add. So that's the Wake of Hanan, and there's something else I would like to add here. Tales from the Ashlands, the Great Hive bound beneath. It's actually inspired by Kirkbride's concept art, where he drew like some weird alien looking like a hive in the Ashlands. No one actually knows what it's about. So this mod is one of the interpretations of this concept art. And again, I haven't played it yet, but it basically turns it into this really unique looking dungeon. So let's add. And Ancient Foes is, I believe, made by Dark Elf guy who runs this, very great channel about the Morrowind modding showcasing. So Ancient Foes, let's try that too. So now we really like overhauled vanilla or the Vardenfell to the point that it's full of new content, and the old content is kind of like overhauled. It's brought to a new level to match Tamriel Rebuild. And that's the idea behind this mod list. So I believe that's it. All right. So now, again, let's go back to the graphic extender. Actually, let's install shaders first. So now I'm going to show you guys. This is my shader compilation. Where is that? It's here. So I've collected these shaders over a period of time. Most of them are from Nexus. A couple of them which are not from there are found on Discord. If you guys go to a Morrowind modding Discord, there's like a shaders section, and there are a bunch of links there. So first things, we're gonna install Wonders of Water. All right. So we just do like this. Now next one is Enhanced Water Shader right here. Now there's options green, blue, blue, and green. Blue is kind of too blue. Again, this is all like matter of taste. Green is fine. And I usually go for the green blue. I think it looks very, very nice. So just drag and drop shaders folder. All right, now let's go to the MGE XE shader pack. We already have actually a bunch of shaders, but we're gonna install this pack. So we have a core. Let's just drag and drop. And let's do the cinematic shaders. Why not? Inside, you're guys gonna find cinematic depth of field, cinematic black bars, which I'm gonna use for lore videos, and lens effects. So anyways, cinematic shaders, just drag and drop this file. That's it. Now I'm gonna add a couple more here. I'm gonna add Apple's gamma correction, which is very useful if your game is too dark. Let's see, so let's go to shaders here, and so all shaders are FX, right? So just drag and drop here. All right, so next we're gonna add is Eternal Shine, which I believe tweaks interior lights or just lights in general. Let's see. Now we're gonna go to the step shaders, which is from Nexus, and I'm just going to install, let's say, alternate bloom. So it's very safe to install as many shaders as you want here, because later we're gonna actually activate them in the graphic extender. So it's pretty safe to just drop any shader you want here. It doesn't matter. So now actually we have options to change many things here. We have 5 cells of distant land. Let's turn it up to 10. I'm gonna activate per pixel lighting shader. This one is very demanding. This one will lower your frame rate by 10 to 20%, which is kind of crazy, but I don't mind, really. Yep. We're gonna include dynamic ripples. Because I use water shaders. If I don't activate this one, it'll cause glitch. So let's activate dynamic ripples. So now when the rain drops, you know, you can see like rings and circles and everything. It just looks more modern, I guess. Now we're gonna enable shaders and click shader setup. Now go to modding. Now, I don't claim to be knowledgeable about shaders, really, but I do know that the right order is sort of important. Some shaders need to be above others, and I actually found online few kind of like examples of people talking about it. So I try to follow that. So I'm just gonna replicate my last setup, right? So I'm gonna use edge AA, right? Now, some people said it needs to be first. Others said it needs to be last. I don't know. So I'm going to put it here first for now. SSAO high quality. Now I'm going to use underwater interior effects and underwater effects. Eternal shine. Sun chefs. Gamma correction is right here. Depth of field. Now I have a few versions. I'm just going to use the basic one, I guess. I'm going to add cinematic black bars just for fun. Alternate bloom. D-band fog aware. And the special process. Where is that? So this is quite a lot. This is actually more than it's recommended. Again, because I really don't know what I'm doing. But the thing is, like, once you're in a game, it's actually very easy to turn off or to switch off any individual shader. So the reason I put so many shaders inside is that now when I go into the game, I can actually turn each one off and on and just see what's the right combination, right? Actually, let's add one more shader. I need to find the film. Where is the film one? Is it here? Yeah. So let's go to data files, shaders. So this is the one that I actually also like to use. It's MGE Shaders 2.0 vanilla style. Also available on Nexus. And I'm gonna go inside the shaders and get the film one. So now we are back here. Now I'm gonna add film. I'm gonna move the film a little bit up, maybe here. Again, I'm really not sure about the right order, if this makes any sense. It's just me experimenting, really. So now we're gonna save. And now we're gonna generate distant land again because I increased number of cells. All right, so let's do that. And this time it's actually very easy because all we have to do is continue and automatic setup everything. So this time we actually will take even longer because we increase the distance. So once it's done, we are ready to test our game. This is getting exciting. Like every time you finish modding, you can feel like this electricity in the air because you don't know if it's gonna work or if it's gonna crash right at the beginning. It's very unpredictable, especially with Morrowind. You know, this is why I rely on Wabbajax for Skyrim. I tried modding Skyrim on my own in the early years, and one thing I could never figure out is generating distant like level of detail. So again, I rely on Wabbajack, which is very, very simple. It's automatic. But when it comes to Morrowind, there are really nice, not only tutorials, but mod lists out there. But I really, really enjoy modding it on my own when it comes to Morrowind. In a way, it's more simple And especially, I love the graphic extender. It's so, like, you can just tweak every little detail, but at the same time, it's simple. It's just very, very fun, which is why I don't mind, like, switching and updating mod list every once in a while. But once I finalize this mod list, this setup, I want to start playing because Narcissus is out. We need to start a playthrough. So again, so many of you asked to do like a guide or a tutorial, and I'm really the wrong person to do that, as you guys can see. But let's hope for the best. So I really think once we have like a really stable and glitch-free grass mod that encompasses entire game, including the beautiful Cities of Morrowind overhaul and Tamriel rebuilt with the new maps, Cyrodiil and Skyrim. I think that'll be fun to have some kind of grass mod. And it's finished. Again, these warnings are really nothing to be worried about. Alright. Now I'm gonna show you one more thing that needs to be done. Okay, we can exit here. Alright, so we redid everything. We regenerated the distant land. Now, one final thing that we need to make sure is sky variations. I think it causes some kind of error, so it's actually safe to turn off. A different sky every day affects the color of clear and cloudy skies. It's added by graphic extender and it's already generated, it's all fine. However, just turn it off, switch it off, make your life easier. And that's it. Shall we start the game right now? Why not? All right, I don't know if you guys can see this new screens. All right, here we are. All right, now let's make a character really fast. So reroll, we can just kind of randomize our character. And you know what? I feel like making a good old Garrick Whitehands just for this occasion. All right. Let's be a knight. The lady is my sign. Garrick is the name. All right. Again, these are all the options. You know what? Where should we start today? College of Firewatch. Let's start. Let's go to the mainland right away. I'm not going to use any starting set. Maybe just a weapon. Let's go. Ooh, look at this. Lights. Ooh, right. So now you guys remember, I have like 100 shaders activate all at once. So
small fork on outside,
man,
or is it
these
inside?
pictures or paintings, however you want to call them, they look much clearer than from what I remember. And so this is the interior, right? Guys, look at these lights. So this is all the working of the shaders. And this is what I like. You don't like some element, you know, something about it, you just turn it off. So let's see. Let me see. I think it's the Eternal Shine. Yeah. So it adds this really cool effect. Again, it's personal choice. Gamma correction, as you guys can see, makes the game a little bit lighter. Film. Well, that's more for the outside. This is cinematic black bars. Bloom. Yeah, bloom is really drastic. Special process, it's a very like a cinematic type of thing. Yeah, let's go outside. Oops. Looking good. Looking good. Look at my axe. Yep. Wow. Whatever. Well, let's go
All
outside.
right, I'm listening.
All right, I'm listening.
Questions?
This is the exit. And welcome to Firewatch.
Yes.
Let me just turn off the cinematic black bars. All right. Oh yeah, so this is, guys, what I thought. The clouds are moving a little bit too fast. I actually forgot to tweak that. I didn't have time, I kind of rushed. But again, I showed you. You just go to the Morrowind ini file, search for cloud speed, and every value you just divide by 5 and that's it. It's literally like 5 minutes of work. But I want to find a ship. Okay, here's the map. Let me just make it a little bit better. Right. Let's go to Narcissus. I'm gonna make myself invincible just to be sure. Here's the water. Let's go south.
Care to see the sights? Where can I take you?
Helm?
Care to see the sights? Where can I take you?
That rat's in the bed.
Pretty nice. I want to go to Narcissus. I want to test the
Speak
frame
your
rate
needs.
there. You know what? Let's just do this. Fill map. Let's go straight to Narcissus. Here we are. I'm gonna turn the frame rate on. So now you guys can see actually the frame rate counter. It's kind of low, it's kind of under 60. And we are just outside the Narcissus. Again, you gotta remember, I'm using really high resolution textures. I have how many shaders? Like insane amount of shaders, mists, and all these things that kind of eat a lot of frames. So if my game is still playable in Narcissus, even with this setup, I know that I can always kind of just remove some shaders or, you know, lower the resolution or whatever, and it will be even better. But I am not someone who's really, oh, I need to have the maximum amount of frame rates or else game is unplayable. I'm really old school, you know. I remember playing on 20 frames before. It doesn't really bother me. So let me see. It's 6 p.m. so let's go to the morning. All right. But look at these Hlalu textures. I think they're really nice. Really nice textures. It's very vanilla friendly, just, you know, ignore the speedy clouds. I'm gonna tweak that later. But yeah, this is Narcissus. We're just gonna have a really short tour around. Again, I just wanna find a good spot. Let's say here. So I'm gonna show you guys just the difference. So let's turn all off. Still looks good, right? So for example, bloom. This is the film. It adds like more little saturation or something. I don't know. I really like it. And edge. Oh, I can see some. I really don't know what it does, to be honest. Oh, right. It makes the game look better looking. I think I actually have better depth of field shaders I didn't include, but it's fine. Special process is what gives us like this really like a dramatic, like a colorful visual. But you know, I have so many other shaders and EMBs that I didn't include. So this is all like a matter of personal taste and what do you expect from the game, you know? So I mean, I heard that people struggle to have 30 frames in Narcissus. I have like 40 with all this high ultra quality setup. So
I'm so hungry. I could eat a rat.
let's go to some like a heavy area. I think up there somewhere. I mean, this is a huge place. Look at these towers. Oh yeah, I forgot something. So if you go to the Steadicam, I like the smooth preset. Look at that. And look how I move diagonally now. We don't ice skate anymore. This is all because of simply walking. Look at this. It's just better. Look at these textures. Again, these are Wurt's texture packs, I believe. Or maybe this is for Tamriel data, I don't know. But, wow. So crispy. Look at that. You know what? It goes down as like 20 for a true cinematic experience. Actually, and this is same like old Ebonheart. So if they manage to recreate same frame rate as in old Ebonheart, I mean that's a success, considering that this is much bigger city. Well, let me just. I want to go up there. I want to see what's there. When I start my playthrough, I'll probably start on the Vardenfell, and I'll slowly make my way through here. I'm not gonna rush. Oh, sorry, I have black bars. I know not everyone likes that. Whatever. Let me see. Wow. Narcissus old quarter. Look at that, crazy. Look at this. Wow. Cinematic experience. Here are the Wurt's animated trees. Wow. Look at these guards. Measure hall.
Stay out of trouble, Outlander.
So you guys
Move
saw,
along,
oh, inside I have, again,
Move along, Outlander.
almost 100 frames. Even though I want to limit to 60. It just doesn't work, but whatever.
I don't like it, but orders are orders.
But really, I'm gonna just test around
Move
a
along,
few more
Outlander.
places and, wow. Move along, Outlander. Move along. Is this arena? Ooh, that's an ebony broadsword he's holding. Let's take a view here. I hope it doesn't crash. Wow. They also changed the name of Andotrin. Now it's Baal Foyen. But let's go back to Vardenfell just for a second. Let's test the textures back in the Vardenfell. Yes. Looking good. Wow, look at these textures. Now just imagine some really, really good grass mod, which will be available probably later this month maybe. But I really don't mind. Let's check Suran. Let's go here. I think I'm just currently in the mood for like a more saturated, vibrant looking Morrowind. I don't know why. I really love this scene. This plantation right here. Wow, look at that. Let's see the evening. I think evenings here are very beautiful. Really, man? Yes, yes, yes. Very, very nice. I'm 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 so in love with these Hlalo textures. I think we should be able to see some fireflies around here somewhere. I mean, you can just come here and just, you know, have a therapy session, you know, just relax, read a book, meditate here, you know. There are two things I think I'll just add here. I will add grass, like a very nice looking grass, and some nice music overhaul, which I already have. I just gotta make sure they work with the new Tamriel rebuild. I think the Tamriel rebuild, renaming some old regions and adding new, kind of confused muse. So yesterday when I was testing, it kept crashing on now Narcissus because it couldn't find music files, music track. But yeah, I'm really digging this, you know. Of course, when I play the playthrough, I'll take off the cinematic bars. But when I play, like when I make lore videos and all that, I like to add cinematic bars. Just, you know, I don't know. I prefer this aesthetic. So nice, mate. Nice. All right. Night sky. Again, clouds are too fast. I know. I'm gonna tweak that. The moon is so crispy, you can like touch it. That's... I mean, Sky's overhaul is really old. I remember actually using this mod like 10 years ago or something, or more. I actually started modding Morrowind first time with MGSO, the infamous MGSO. Oh, let me show you something, guys. VOS. Look at the lights of VOS. Look at the lights. Let's turn off everything. Look at this. It's raining. Let's see those ripples. Need something? Look at these waves and ripples. Not bad, not bad. Like there are additional like things you can fix. You can like tweak like the level, like the height of waves. There's so many options, you know, but looks good enough for me. So nice. Nivalis. I think it's like always foggy here. And sometimes it snows and it looks very nice. Oh, there are actually some... The new map? Oh yeah, we have some new islands, even northern. Wow. I'm so excited to try it out. But yeah, I mean, you guys can see this is the modlist that I'm gonna use. And here are some of these unique Tamriel rebuilt tavern signs. I think they look so good. I used the color version, and but too bad the mod author, I think he said he doesn't have time to go back to it. But I mean, I really love the style. Well, maybe someone finds this tutorial helpful, although I doubt. There are much better guides out there online. But yeah, this is... I show you guys how I install my mods. Haven't been in Imra for a long time. So this used to be like
Short
the
trip, long trip, you decide.
southernmost place. But now we can have... You can go all the way here. Yeah, look at these textures. I've never played with such a high resolution textures before. These are the veloci, right? Look at these cracks. Looks so weathered down and just more details. I really like it. Vurts, textures, really nice. So as you guys can see, actually adding mods to Morrowind is not that complicated, even manually. Just gotta follow the procedure, you know, dropping everything in the data folder. So anyways, guys, I hope you like it. As for the playthrough, I'm really just waiting for like a few months to get update. Specifically, Skyrim Home of the Nords and Project Cyrodiil. They need to get updated for the newest Tamriel data. And then once it's all done, I can start a playthrough. But I'll probably keep this mod list. And I'll see, maybe I'll tweak some shaders, but I really like the visuals. It's a more, I guess, vibrant looking Morrowind. It's very bloomy and saturated, but I don't think it's over the top. Again, I specifically went like ultra high detail with the highest resolution textures, the ultra level of detail in the distance. And all this is very taxing to the frame rate, as you guys saw in the cities. But it's still playable, which is most important to me. So anyways, guys, this was my little tutorial on how not to mod Morrowind. I hope you enjoy it, and I'll see you very soon with a new video. Thanks for watching.